Hey guys, Danny here doing a video response today to Sparkle Divine Tarot's hashtag my tarot personality. I thought this was a super great tag, so I had to jump on board. I watched a couple of videos the past few days, and then this morning I saw MsTracyTwo's who kind of added in an extra little bit. She pulled a card from each deck that she chose. So what I did was I chose 5 decks based on different aspects of my personality, and then I went ahead and chose or asked my decks to kind of expand upon that aspect. So I'm gonna dive right in. So the first deck that I chose was for my kind of play it safe mentality. So of course I played it safe and grabbed the Rider-Waite. So for me, this is a part of my personality that kind of conflicts with most every other part. And which is why it kind of stuck out so much. I am very much a go-getter. I am a spontaneous, let's do this kind of girl. But I'm also kind of annoyingly cautious, if I'm being honest. I'm definitely one to be like, oh, maybe not, because I mean, something can happen, we can fall off, we can get hurt, we can lose a limb, we could die. That's kind of where my mind goes. And you know, sometimes I want to equate it to like, it's just that mom brain. I'm like hyper aware, I just want to keep my baby safe. I've been like this forever. Like, I missed out on so much stuff with my friends because I'm like, I don't think so, I could die. Like, that's kind of where my, and yes, it's kept me safe. It really has. It's kept me from doing hard drugs, which my friends did dabble in. It helped me from, you know, being too wild. It hasn't helped me from like all the things that were pretty stupid that I've done, but you know what I mean. In the most kind of, sorry, I have things moving. I have cat, dog, child. So I keep looking there because I see movement. Anyway, sorry. But it has kept me safe. But it also puts that element of stuck. So when I pull my cards for this, the Rider-Waite had jokes. So what I pulled was the Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. And I think just right off the bat, it's just about the duality of this aspect of my personality. I like to say stagnant and stuck sometimes because it's safe and it's predictable and I won't get hurt, I won't get damaged, no one else will, and it's easy. But in the totally different aspect is that I am about movement. I love to be spontaneous and I love to just dive into things and I love to do things and travel and experience, but it does hold me back sometimes. And I feel like if I was still by myself, I wouldn't have so much of this stillness. And I don't say that in a bad way, because I do love my life. I love my little girl. I love my husband. But at the same time, like I put a lot more restraints upon myself because I feel like there's an added responsibility there. I can't just go off on a whim. So I definitely feel like these cards are also calling for a little bit more balance. Like maybe I need to loosen up a little bit and continue to move forward instead of like being too comfortable in that stuck position. So we have some wisdom here today from these lovely cards. So the next part of my personality is kind of my darker side. I wouldn't say so much the melancholy, but a bit. Like, I've always had with me a sense of sadness, but not debilitating. I've only suffered with depression in very small spots of my life. And I know that I'm very lucky because some people suffer with it on a daily basis. And some of my friends suffer with it daily. But there's always been a sad undertone to my personality that I usually don't bring out very much. It just kind of sits there. It's that just little melancholy section. But I feel like it also speaks to the part of my personality that really likes to do that shadow work. Not only for myself, but I like to converse with others about it. I like real, raw storytelling, if that makes sense. I want to know you, right? Like, if I'm going to be your friend, if we're going to have that relationship, like, I want to know the truth of you. Obviously, I don't like go into the first, meeting like, hi, my name is Danny. Let's talk about your deepest, darkest secrets. Go. Like, it's not that intense, y'all. But I love that. Even as a kid, horror stories, thrillers, deep, dark stuff is what I always gravitated towards. So I do have that darkness in my personality. So many people use the deviant moon in this, and I didn't. For this part, I chose, because I thought about it. But then I remembered the tarot of the secret forest, and I thought, oh, yeah, that's more like it. And I talked to one of my friends the other day about the deviant moon, and I was like, at first I was like, I'm not getting this, it's not me. And she stopped me and was like, what? She's like, yes, if you'd have showed this to me and said, would Danny like this deck? She's like, I'd have been like, yup, this is definitely part of your personality. And I was like, wow. I didn't realize it until then, but it's true, because that darkness is there, it just presented itself in a totally different way, and I didn't notice. So anyway, enough about that. So for that part of my personality, that darker side, that dig deeper under the surface, earthy area of mine, I chose the Tarot of the Secret Forest. So when I asked about this side of my personality, oh, and these also have the very dark side. When I asked about that aspect of myself, it was very interesting. This Four of Cups came out, and with this deck, it deals more with the silence than anything else. And I thought that was very interesting, because those are the places that I like to explore. It very much is. If there is a place that seems haunted and abandoned and has that mystery that hangs in the air, that's where I want to go. Those are the stories that I want to find out. The ones that are told in hushed tones, in back rooms where nobody can hear. There's always a sense of silence, even when you speak these stories. There's silence in there. And that's definitely part of me. Now, with that, I'm also super nice and bubbly and happy and love shiny things. So immediately I thought, my personality is a mishmash of so many different things. I'm eclectic in so many different ways, where, like I said, I love to be happy and bubbly and share things and be spontaneous and excited, and I like to be safe, and I like to be dark, and I like to be, and I think we all have that. So I chose the Cosmos Tarot for that mishmash of my personality, where it's just kind of everywhere. And it has to do with the art I like, and the music that I listen to, and the movies that I watch, and the things I like to talk about. It really is a culmination of all the things. So I said, this deck definitely has that for me. So this is the one that I chose. Now, when I asked about this portion of my personality, I got a very interesting card. and that's Pavo, the Nine of Earth, and this speaks of vigilance, watchfulness, guidance. And the first thing that kind of popped into my head is that it gives me the ability to observe, right? From all different angles. Because I feel like I fit into so many categories, like I feel like it's sometimes super easy. Like, I mean, you always have those people that just don't relate at all, whatever. But at the same time, like, I feel like it is easy for me to meet someone and find something that we can connect on, because my likes and my knowledge and my whole outlook is super eclectic. I have bits and pieces of myself everywhere. I can talk to someone about building a set of cabinets, and I can also talk to someone about, you know, string theory. You know, it's totally different aspects, and that's what brings it all together. I can observe so many different things. I can experience so many things with so many people, and that allows me to connect on a deeper level. So that's kind of what I got from there. So speaking of building cabinets, my next deck that I chose was about my art. I am a creatrix at heart, if you will. I love to create things. I love to make things. I love to do anything creative. Crafts are my thing. And I'm a carpenter's daughter, so I did grow up floating sheetrock and redoing bathrooms and making cabinets and stripping paint from, you know, vintage items. And with Jacob, he loves to do things like that too. He has a degree in interior design. So we're constantly a creative team, like redoing and changing things up and just doing that creativity together. But I also do a lot of art. I paint, and I do all kinds of things, really. So I chose the Line Strider Tarot because of the art. It's got beautiful watercolors that really resonate with me. They're beautiful. And there's the Queen of Cups. Oh, my favorite card in the whole deck. And again, Queen of Cups, I always say that, like, that's my card. And she's beautiful. She's one of my favorite, Queen of Cups. Anyway, so with this, I got the Moon. And I thought that was interesting, yet very valid. Because at first I was like, but then I'm like, oh yeah. So when it comes to my art, I always love to try different things. I've done a ton of stuff since I was very young, whether that be creating places for my Barbies, building little houses, creating these whole fantasy worlds and forts that you could like crawl through, or the collage art that I did in high school. You know, so many different aspects. But when it comes to my painting and some of my creations that I'm doing now, I feel like I'm still developing. I'm still fumbling my way through the darkness and trying to uncover and allow out certain things, because you still have those little voices in your head that say, you can't do that. You can't draw. It's not gonna look good. This is shitty. Don't even try. Just stick to what you know. And I'm constantly trying to shove those things aside and fumble my way through and allow myself to put these things onto canvas or onto paper or however I want to express myself. I feel like I'm sideways, y'all. I've tried to fix this a bazillion times, and I think it just keeps going. So sorry if I've been sideways. Anyway. So I feel like with the Moon, it's kind of bringing up that aspect that there's still some work to do and still some things to uncover when it comes to my art, and allowing myself to bring those things out. Lastly, I have an ultimate nerdy side. Oh yeah. So what better deck than the Game of Thrones? Because it is the fantasy realm. It has a whole history and world to uncover, stories to be told, so many different lives to kind of pop in and out, so many things going on. And I've been, and it's a little dark. So I have always gone towards this darker side of the fantasy realm ever since I was really young. The first big girl novel I ever read was The Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. And it was that like medieval style wizards and dragons and deceit and evil wizards kind of idea. And that's kind of where I always like to stay. Any kind of fantasy realm was my thing. It was an escape, right? It's where I could just dive into and be in, right? Because it had history, it had a different place to explore, it had different places to go. It was all encompassing. And I was very lonely in a certain sense growing up. I was by myself. My parents were not very engaging. So and then I didn't engage either. So I don't know if that was because of or as a result of. Anyway, or I just said the same thing. Was that because of them or because of my personality is what I meant. I literally said basically the same thing. Anyway, so I spent a lot of time in the fantasy realm, and my nerd is strong. Anywhere from Doctor Who to Star Wars to Harry Potter to the Hobbits of Lord of the Rings. It's everywhere. Anyway, so I kind of use that as my tool to escape and my friends and my way to be in and explore a world when I was alone. So I pulled my card from the Game of Thrones tarot, and it was perfect, you guys. 7 of Swords. And it's true, because in this part I feel like fantasy and my nerddoms are definitely a way of me stealing back that how do I put this? I can matter there, right? I can take back that feeling of being important, where so many times in my life I felt overlooked, I felt pushed aside. Now this is not only from my parents, my friends, some of my colleagues. Like, it was just easy for people to overlook me. And in my fantasy realm, I get to be the hero. These characters get to be my friends, right? And I'm important because I'm the narrator. I'm the one creating this space in my head, right? So I feel like this was a way to steal back my courage and my confidence and my place in the world. So it kind of got a little dark. I didn't mean it to. But because I thought it was fun. Like, it is a fun aspect because it's true. Like, I feel empowered in my fandom, right? So I really like this. But yeah, this was super great. I really liked it. I'm sorry if I got a little deep. Sometimes that happens. That is a part of my personality. I like to talk about those nitty-gritty things. So thanks for watching as always, guys. I will be back soon, and see you later. Much love. Bye-bye.